Maya Jackson stood frozen in the dimly lit stairwell of Westridge Academy. The cold air sent a chill down her spine as she looked up at Chris Bennett. He was blocking her way, his tall figure casting a shadow over her. Maya's dark skin seemed even darker against the bright white walls of the school building. At 17, Maya was used to being ignored at this fancy science school, but this was different. "I know you took it," Chris said in an angry voice. His face was red with anger. "The prototype goes missing the same day you get to use the lab? That's not just luck." Maya held her tablet closer to her chest. She could feel her heart beating fast. "I didn't take anything, Chris. Get out of my way." "Everyone knows kids on scholarship can't buy the stuff we use here," he said, moving closer to her. "So you just take someone else's work?" Behind Chris, his friends laughed quietly. Chris was the son of a rich man who owned a big tech company. He never got in trouble for anything. He couldn't understand that Maya had earned her spot at this school because she was smart, not because her family had money. "The neural interface design is missing," Chris said loudly so others could hear. "And you were the last person in the lab." Maya felt anger rising inside her, but she kept her voice calm. "I was working on my own project. I don't need to steal your basic designs." Chris's face got even redder. "Then empty your bag right now." Students began to gather around them in the stairwell. They were drawn by the loud voices. Maya knew this moment would shape how everyone saw her for the rest of the year. She had two choices. She could try to defend herself against these false claims, or she could show them all what she was really capable of doing. She chose the second option. "You want to see what I've been working on?" Maya asked, her voice suddenly calm. "Fine, everyone can follow me." Maya led the group to the school's lab. She walked with her head held high even though she could hear whispers behind her. The whispers hurt, but she wouldn't let them see that. As she walked, she thought about her mother, who had always told her to stand tall in hard times. The lab was on the third floor. It was a large room filled with computers, tools, and machines. This place was Maya's safe space. While other students used the room for classwork, Maya had special permission to use it for her own research. Now, as she led the growing crowd inside, she felt strangely relieved that her secret work would finally be seen. "This is what I've been working on," Maya said as she turned on the display at her work area. "Not stealing your interface, Chris." The air filled with bright blue light as her designs appeared. They were complex and beautiful plans that made several students gasp in surprise. "That's not possible," said Amber Collins, one of the top students. "You solved the quantum problem?" Maya nodded. "The usual way to make neural interfaces needs direct brain connections, which isn't good. My design uses quantum links to connect human minds and machines without surgery." Chris pushed forward and looked at the designs with growing shock. "This is just theory. Nobody has made this work in real life." "Nobody had," Maya corrected him. She pressed her hand against a small device on the table. The lights in the room dimmed for a moment as the device started to work. "Until now." Above the table, a complex 3D picture of Maya's thoughts appeared. It wasn't just simple patterns, but fully formed ideas shown in real time. It was far better than what any big company had ever made. "This is what I've been working on instead of sleeping," Maya explained. "Not stealing your simple interface design." The students watched in amazement. Some had their phones out, recording the moment. Maya felt a mix of pride and worry. She hadn't planned to share her work yet, but Chris had forced her hand. "How does it work?" asked Kevin Parker, a quiet boy who rarely spoke in class. Maya took a deep breath. "It reads the quantum state of neurons in the brain without touching them. The hardest part was keeping the quantum state stable, but I found a way to use special crystals to maintain the connection." As Maya explained more details, she noticed that Chris had backed away. His face showed a mix of anger and shame. His friends were no longer standing with him. Instead, they were moving closer to Maya's display, their faces showing interest and respect. Professor Eleanor Reed pushed through the crowd, her eyes wide with wonder. "Maya, this is graduate-level work. How did you solve the stability issue?" Before Maya could answer, the lab door opened and Director Samantha Winters entered. Behind her were two people in neat business suits. They looked serious but excited. "Maya," Director Winters said in a quiet voice, "these people are from NASA. They want to talk to you about your project." The room went completely silent. Maya looked at the NASA representatives, then at Chris, who was now standing alone by the door, then back at her device that glowed with soft blue light. Her life was about to change forever, and it had all started with a false accusation in a stairwell. "I would be happy to talk with them," Maya said. As she gathered her notes and prototypes, she passed by Chris. In a low voice that only he could hear, she said, "Thank you for making me show my work today. I was too scared to do it on my own." Chris couldn't meet her eyes. The boy who had tried to tear her down had instead given her the push she needed to reach for the stars. As Maya left the lab with the NASA representatives, the students parted to let her through, their faces showing a new kind of respect. The scholarship girl from the poor part of town had just changed the future of human technology, and it all began with a confrontation in a stairwell. Maya walked into the office of Director Winters with the NASA representatives. Her heart was still beating fast from the events in the lab. The office was neat and bright, with awards and diplomas hanging on the walls. Director Winters sat at her desk while the two NASA people sat in chairs across from her. Maya took the empty chair between them. "Maya, these are Dr. Alan Garcia and Dr. Lisa Wright from NASA's Advanced Technology Division," Director Winters said. "They came here today to give a talk to our senior students, but now they're very interested in your work." Maya looked at the two scientists. Dr. Garcia was a tall man with gray hair at his temples. Dr. Wright was a woman with short black hair and kind eyes behind her glasses. Both wore dark blue suits with small NASA pins on their lapels. "It's nice to meet you," Maya said, her voice shaking a little. "I didn't expect anyone from NASA to see my project today." Dr. Garcia smiled. "We didn't expect to find such advanced work at a high school. Your quantum neural interface is impressive. Can you tell us more about how you developed it?" Maya took a deep breath. "It started after my mom died last year. She worked in quantum computing before she got sick. I found her research notes and saw that her ideas could be used for neural interfaces." Dr. Wright's eyes widened. "Catherine, Jackson was your mother? Her work on quantum stability was groundbreaking." Maya nodded, fighting back tears. "Yes, I wanted to finish what she started. The main problem was keeping the quantum state stable, but I found that using a crystal matrix could help maintain coherence." "That's exactly the issue we've been struggling with," Dr. Garcia said. He leaned forward in his chair. "Maya, we've been working on a similar system for the Artemis deep space mission, but we've hit roadblocks with the quantum decoherence problem. Your solution is exactly what we've been missing." Maya couldn't believe what she was hearing. The Artemis deep space mission was NASA's plan to send humans beyond our solar system. It was the biggest space project in decades. "How long have you been working on this?" Dr. Wright asked. "About 14 months, Maya replied. "I work on it every day after school and on weekends." Director Winters spoke up. "Maya has special permission to use the lab whenever she wants. Her grades are perfect, so her teachers don't mind if she works on her own projects." "Maya," Dr. Garcia said, his voice serious, "we want to offer you an opportunity. We would like you to join the Artemis team. The mission needs your interface to communicate with the ship's AI across space where normal communications don't work." Maya's mind raced. "But I'm still in high school. I haven't even applied to college yet." "NASA has a special program with MIT," Dr. Wright explained. "You would finish your education while working with us. We would pay for everything and give you a stipend for living expenses." Maya looked out the office window. Through it, she could see into the hallway where Chris and his friends were being questioned by school security. One of the security guards held the missing prototype that Chris had claimed Maya stole. "What happened?" Maya asked, nodding toward the scene. Director Winters sighed. "The prototype was found in Chris's locker. It seems he took it himself and planned to blame you. He's in serious trouble now." Maya felt no joy at this news, only a strange sense of relief that the truth had come out. "When would I start at NASA, if I accept?" "As soon as possible," Dr. Garcia said. We can help you finish your high school requirements online while you begin working with us. The Artemis mission launch is scheduled for 3 years from now. We need your help to make it successful. Maya thought about her small apartment where she lived with her aunt since her mother died. She thought about her school, where she had few friends and many people like Chris who looked down on her. She thought about her mother's dream of changing the world through technology. I need to talk to my aunt, Maya said. She's my guardian now. Of course, Dr. Wright said. We can arrange a meeting with her as soon as you'd like. We can explain everything to her and answer any questions. Director Winters reached across her desk and took Maya's hand. Maya, this is an amazing opportunity. Your mother would be so proud of you. Maya nodded, feeling tears form in her eyes. I think I want to do this. I want to help make the mission successful. Dr. Garcia smiled broadly. Excellent. We'll start the paperwork right away. Just then there was a knock at the office door. When Director Winters called out, Professor Reed entered looking excited. I'm sorry to interrupt, she said. But the news about Maya's invention is spreading. There are reporters outside the school asking questions, and the principal of MIT just called asking to speak with Maya. Maya's eyes widened. Reporters? MIT? This is happening so fast. That's what happens when you solve a problem that the biggest minds in the world have been working on, Dr. Wright said with a laugh. Are you ready for this, Maya? Your life is about to change in a big way. Maya thought of the stairwell confrontation, just hours ago, how Chris had tried to humiliate her and how that moment had led to this incredible opportunity. Sometimes bad things turned into good things in unexpected ways. I'm ready, Maya said, her voice stronger now, but I want to finish one project at school before I leave. What project is that? Director Winters asked. I'm building a simpler version of my neural interface for the school's science program, Maya explained. I want other students to be able to continue this work after I'm gone. The NASA scientists exchanged impressed looks. Even in this moment of personal triumph, Maya was thinking of others. We can give you time to finish that, Dr. Garcia said. In fact, it could be your first official NASA educational outreach project. As they continued discussing plans, Maya felt a strange mix of emotions. Sadness for leaving her school and the few friends she had made. Excitement for the future that was opening up for her. Pride in continuing her mother's legacy. And gratitude, oddly enough, toward Chris, whose attempt to hurt her had instead launched her toward the stars. Outside the school, news vans were pulling up as word spread about the breakthrough made by a 17-year-old scholarship student. Maya Jackson, once invisible in the halls of Westridge Academy, was about to become known around the world. 3 years passed quickly for Maya. She moved from her small apartment to a nice home near the NASA campus in Houston. Her aunt came with her, proud to see Maya follow in her mother's footsteps. The days were long, and the work was hard, but Maya loved every minute of it. Today was a big day. Maya stood in the large mission control room at the Johnson Space Center. She was now 20 years old. Her quantum neural interface had changed from a rough school project to a sleek headband that wrapped around her temples. The device glowed, with a soft blue light when it was working. On the huge screens in front of her, the Artemis 9 spacecraft was being prepared for launch. This would be humanity's first journey to the Proxima Centauri star system. The ship would travel farther than any human had ever gone. Neural bridge starting up, Maya said, closing her eyes as her mind joined with the ship's computer system. Through her interface, she could talk to and partly control the ship from Earth. This was something people once thought was impossible across such great distances. Connection is good, said Dr. Garcia from his station nearby. In the 3 years they had worked together, he had become like a father to Maya. The quantum link is stable. Maya smiled. Her mother's research, combined with her own work, had made this possible. The quantum neural interface let human thoughts guide AI systems across space without the delay that happens with normal radio waves, which can take years to travel between stars. Captain Frank Duncan's voice came through the speakers. Mission Control, we're ready for the quantum link test. Setting up the link now, Captain, Maya replied. She felt the familiar feeling of her mind stretching beyond her body. Within seconds, she could sense the ship's systems as if they were parts of herself. The room was filled with the best scientists and engineers from around the world. They all watched as Maya did something that was once only seen in science fiction movies. She controlled a spaceship with her thoughts from millions of miles away. "Link is working at 99.7% efficiency," said Dr. Wright, who had become Maya's mentor and friend. "The Proxima mission is ready to go." Maya remembered the day in the stairwell when Chris had accused her of stealing. That bad moment had forced her to show her work early, which led her to NASA and this historic day. She had heard that Chris was now studying engineering at a state college. She held no bad feelings toward him anymore. "Maya," Captain Duncan's voice came through clearly despite being very far away. "We're seeing something strange at the edge of the solar system. Can you look at it through the ship's sensors?" Maya focused her thoughts and directed the ship's powerful sensors toward the spot Captain Duncan mentioned. What she saw made her gasp. "Captain, that's not a natural thing," she said, her voice shaking a little. "Those are built structures. They look like they were made by intelligent beings." The control room went silent. Then everyone started talking at once. Dr. Garcia rushed to Maya's side. "Are you certain? Could it be an error in the sensors?" Maya shook her head. "No error. The structures have perfect geometric shapes. They're made of materials that don't exist in nature. And there's energy flowing through them. Someone built these." Director Winters, who had left Westridge Academy to join Maya at NASA, stepped forward. "Maya, can you get more detailed images?" Maya focused again, directing the ship's cameras to zoom in on the structures. The images appeared on the main screen for everyone to see. There was no doubt now. The structures were clearly artificial. They had smooth surfaces with strange symbols on them. They were arranged in a pattern that couldn't have happened by chance. "They look like monitoring stations," said Dr. Wright. "Like they're watching our solar system." Captain Duncan's voice came through again. "Should we approach them?" The NASA director, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "No. Hold position, Captain. We need to discuss this with world leaders before we make first contact with an alien civilization." Maya felt a mix of fear and excitement. Through her neural interface, she could sense that the alien structures had noticed the Artemis 9 ship. They were sending out energy patterns that seemed like a form of communication. "They know we're here," Maya said. "They're trying to talk to us." Dr. Garcia looked at her with wide eyes. "Can you understand anything?" Maya focused on the energy patterns. "Not words exactly, but I think they're happy, excited. It feels like they've been waiting for us." The NASA director turned to Maya. "Ms. Jackson, you're the only person who can communicate with them through your quantum interface. You've just become the most important person on Earth." Maya thought about how far she had come from that day in the stairwell. Now she was humanity's first contact with an alien civilization. The responsibility was huge, but she felt ready for it. "The patterns are becoming more complex," Maya said. "I think they're adjusting their signals to match my brainwaves. They're learning how to communicate with me." "Can you send a message back?" Dr. Wright asked. Maya nodded. "I'll try a simple greeting." She focused her thoughts, sending a pattern that represented peace and friendship. The response came almost instantly, a burst of energy that Maya somehow understood as joy. "They're friendly," Maya said with relief. "They've been watching us for a long time, waiting for us to develop technology advanced enough to notice them, and your quantum neural interface was the key," Dr. Garcia said, shaking his head in wonder. "A technology that started with a high school project." The next hours were a blur of activity. World leaders were contacted. Military forces were put on alert, just in case. Scientists from every field were called in to help understand this historic moment. Through it all, Maya remained connected to the alien structures, learning more about them with each passing minute. They were part of a vast civilization from the Proxima Centauri system. They had been studying Earth for centuries, watching human development with interest. "They want to meet us formally," Maya announced after a long session of communication. "They're sending representatives to Earth. They'll be here in 6 months. The NASA director looked worried. Are we ready for this? Maya smiled, feeling strangely calm. They've been ready for us for a long time. Now it's our turn to be ready for them. And thanks to the quantum neural interface, we can communicate with them as equals. As the day ended, Maya stepped outside the control center to look at the stars. Somewhere out there, an alien civilization was preparing to visit Earth. And it had all started because a boy named Chris had accused her of theft in a school stairwell. Life was strange that way. Sometimes the worst moments led to the greatest adventures. 6 months passed in a blur of activity. The world changed as news of the alien contact spread. People reacted with a mix of fear, wonder, and hope. Religious leaders spoke about what this meant for their beliefs. Scientists worked day and night to learn more about the aliens. World leaders met often to plan how Earth would respond as one planet, not separate countries. At the center of it all was Maya Jackson. Her face was on magazine covers and news shows. People called her the bridge because her neural interface connected humanity to the alien civilization. She did not enjoy being famous, but she understood her role was important. The aliens called themselves the Lumina. Through Maya's neural interface, they shared information about their civilization. They came from a planet orbiting Proxima Centauri, the star closest to our sun. They had watched Earth for over 1,000 years, waiting for humans to reach a level of technology that would allow real communication. Today was the day they would arrive. Maya stood on a wide stage set up on the grounds of the United Nations in New York. Behind her were the leaders of Earth's most powerful nations. Before her was a crowd of thousands, with billions more watching on screens around the world. Maya wore a new version of her neural interface. It looked like a thin silver crown around her head. It allowed her to connect with the Lumina ships that were now entering Earth's atmosphere. "They're here," Maya said into the microphone. The crowd fell silent, looking up at the sky. 3 silver ships appeared above the United Nations building. They were shaped like perfect spheres and glowed with soft blue light. They hovered silently, not disturbing the air around them. They seemed to be waiting. Maya closed her eyes and activated her neural interface. "Welcome to Earth," she sent through the quantum link. "We are ready to meet you." The response came instantly. The Lumina were happy to be here. They had waited a long time for this moment. They wanted peace and friendship with humans. The center ship glowed brighter. A beam of light reached down to the stage. Within the light, shapes began to form. The Boeing Lumina were arriving. The crowd gasped as 3 beings appeared on the stage. They were not what anyone expected. The Lumina were made of light and energy. They had no solid bodies. They looked like humans made of glowing blue light, with patterns of energy moving through them like rivers. Maya stepped forward, unafraid. Through her neural interface, she understood these beings better than anyone else on Earth. "On behalf of all humans," Maya said, her voice carried to every corner of the planet, "I welcome you to Earth." The tallest Lumina moved forward. It did not speak with sound, but through energy patterns that Maya's interface translated. "We have watched your kind grow from simple tool users to space travelers," the Lumina said through Maya. "We are pleased to finally meet you face to face." President Olivia Martinez stepped forward. "Why have you chosen now to reveal yourselves to us?" The Lumina turned to the president. "We wait until a species develops quantum communication technology. This shows they are ready for greater knowledge. Maya Jackson's neural interface was the sign we were waiting for." Maya felt a strange mix of pride and worry. Her invention had changed human history forever. "What do you want from us?" she asked. "To share knowledge," the Lumina answered. "Your species has great potential. We want to help you reach it safely." Dr. Garcia had joined Maya on the stage. "What kind of knowledge?" he asked. "Clean energy. Medical advances. Faster space travel. Ways to heal your planet's environment," the Lumina said through Maya. "But most importantly, we offer you membership in the galactic community." This caused excited whispers through the crowd. There were other alien civilizations out there. "There are 27 spacefaring civilizations in our region of the galaxy," the Lumina explained. Each found their own path to the stars. Each had to learn hard lessons about how to use technology wisely. We help guide new species through these challenges. President Martinez looked uncertain. Why would you help us? Because all intelligent life is connected, the Lumina replied. Your success is our success. Your failure would be our loss. As the meeting continued, Maya found herself thinking about her journey. From a poor kid on scholarship to the person who helped bring humanity into a larger community of intelligent beings. And it all started with being accused of theft by a school bully. Later that day, after the public meeting ended, Maya sat in a small room with the Lumina and Earth's representatives. They were discussing the details of humanity's first steps into the galactic community. There is someone who wishes to speak with you, one of the Lumina said privately to Maya through the neural link. Someone who has watched your progress with special interest. Maya was confused. Who? A Lumina who once visited Earth. Long ago, she connected with a human female scientist who was working on quantum theories. She shared certain inspirations. Maya's heart skipped a beat. My mother? You knew my mother? We did not speak as we do now, the Lumina explained. But yes, we shared ideas through dreams and moments of inspiration. Your mother's work was important. She was on the right path. You completed what she began. Tears formed in Maya's eyes. Her mother had not just been a brilliant scientist, she had been touched by an alien intelligence. The work Maya had found in her mother's notes had been partly inspired by the Lumina. Is that why my interface worked when others failed? Maya asked. Your solution was unique because it combined your mother's inspired beginnings with your own brilliant additions, the Lumina said. You created something new that neither humans nor Lumina had made before. That is why you are the bridge. After the meeting, Maya stepped outside for a moment alone. The sky was dark now, filled with stars. She knew that many of those stars had planets with intelligent life circling them. Earth was not alone in the universe. Humans were not alone. Her phone buzzed with a message. It was from Chris Bennett, her old high school bully. He had been trying to contact her for years. Maya had never responded, but today felt different. The message read, I know you probably hate me, but I wanted to say I'm sorry for what I did and thank you for changing the world. Maya smiled and typed a reply. I don't hate you. In a strange way, I should thank you. If you hadn't accused me that day, I might never have shown my work. Everything that happened started there. As she looked up at the stars again, Maya knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges. Helping humanity join the galactic community would not be easy. There would be those who feared the aliens, those who wanted to use their technology for power, and those who resisted change. But for tonight, Maya Jackson, once just a scholarship kid accused of theft, allowed herself to feel the wonder of it all. She had become a bridge between worlds, and the universe was much bigger and more amazing than she had ever dreamed. 1 year had passed since the Lumina arrived on Earth. The world had changed in ways no one could have imagined. The Lumina shared clean energy technology that ended pollution. They helped cure diseases that had troubled humans for centuries. They taught humans how to grow more food in less space, and they prepared Earth for membership in the galactic community. Maya Jackson was now 21 years old. Her life had changed completely. She was no longer just a scientist or inventor. She was Earth's main link to the aliens. Her neural interface had been improved with Lumina technology, making the connection clearer and stronger. Today was special. For the first time, human representatives would travel to the Galactic Council meeting. The meeting happened once every 10 years on a space station near the center of the galaxy. Each of the 27 spacefaring civilizations would send their leaders. Earth would be introduced as a new member. Maya stood in the launch area of the new spaceport built in Kenya. The Lumina had helped humans build ships that could travel faster than light using something called quantum folding. The ship that would take the Earth team to the Council was the largest ever built by humans. It was called Unity. Are you nervous? asked Dr. Garcia, who would be part of the team. He looked older now, with more white in his hair. A little, Maya admitted. I'll be the only human who can talk directly with all the alien species. What, if I make a mistake? You won't, Dr. Garcia said with a smile. The Lumina chose you for a reason. They saw something special in you long before we did. The Earth team consisted of 20 people, scientists, leaders, and artists who would represent the best of humanity. President Martinez was there, along with Dr. Wright and Director Winters. There were also leaders from China, Russia, India, Nigeria, and Brazil. It was truly a global team. The Lumina ambassador, who had taken the human name Aurora, floated towards Maya. Like all Lumina, Aurora was made of light and energy that formed a human-like shape. The Council is eager to meet humans, Aurora said through the neural link. Your species has adapted to new ideas faster than any other we have encountered. I hope we make a good impression, Maya replied. You already have, Aurora assured her. The fact that humans went from basic radio technology to quantum neural interfaces in just a century has impressed many council members. The time came to board the ship. The Unity was beautiful, with smooth lines and large windows. Inside, it was comfortable with rooms that adjusted to each person's needs. The Lumina had helped design it to make the 3-day journey pleasant. As the team settled in, Maya stood at a window watching Earth grow smaller. She thought about her journey, from a poor neighborhood to a school where she didn't fit in, from being accused of theft to changing human history. Life was strange and wonderful. The journey passed quickly. Maya spent most of her time practicing with her neural interface. The Galactic Council had members from many different species. Some communicated with sounds, others with light, some with scents, and some with electrical signals. Maya's interface had been updated to handle all these forms of communication. On the 3rd day, they arrived at the Council station. It was huge, a ring-shaped structure floating in space. Ships of all shapes and sizes were docked around it. Each one was from a different civilization. Welcome to the Galactic Hub, Aurora said as Unity approached the station. This structure was built 10,000 years ago. It has been home to council meetings ever since. The Earth team grew quiet as they looked at the station. This was the oldest structure any human had ever seen. It made the pyramids of Egypt seem young by comparison. Unity docked smoothly at the station. The team prepared to disembark. Maya adjusted her neural interface, which now looked like a thin silver band around her head. Remember, President Martinez said to the team, we are representing all of humanity today. Our actions will shape how other species see humans for generations to come. The team walked through the airlock into the station. The main hall was enormous, with a ceiling so high it was hard to see. There were beings of all shapes and sizes moving about. Some looked almost human. Others were completely different. Beings of crystal, gas, or energy. Maya's interface worked perfectly, translating the thoughts and words of every species they passed. Many were curious about humans, asking questions about Earth and human culture. The council will begin soon, Aurora said, leading them toward a large door at the end of the hall. Maya, you will sit with the translators from other new species. Maya nodded, suddenly feeling very small. She was about to enter a room with leaders of civilizations thousands of years older than human society. As they entered the council chamber, Maya saw hundreds of beings seated in a circle. Some sat in chairs, others floated in tanks of liquid, and some hovered in the air. In the center was a platform where speakers would stand. The Earth team was shown to their seats. Maya went to a special section where other translators sat. There were 5 of them, each from a different species that had recently joined the council. First time? Asked a translator who looked like a large insect with bright green eyes. The words came through Maya's interface. Yes, Maya replied. I'm still getting used to all this. You'll do fine, the insect being said. I was nervous. My first time too, but it's mostly ceremonial. The real work happens in the smaller committees later. The council leader, a tall being made of what looked like living crystal, stepped onto the central platform. The chamber grew quiet. "We gather again to welcome new members to our community," the leader said, the words flowing into Maya's mind through her interface. "Today we welcome the humans of Earth. Their journey to the stars has been swift. Their potential is great." President Martinez was invited to speak. She walked to the platform, her back straight and her head high. "On behalf of all humans, we thank you for this welcome," she said. Maya's interface broadcast her words to all species present. "We come in peace and friendship, eager to learn and to share." As President Martinez continued her speech, Maya thought about her mother. Would she have believed that her work on quantum physics would lead to this moment? Humans taking their place among the stars? When the formal part of the meeting ended, members mingled freely. Maya was approached by many aliens curious about her neural interface. They were impressed that a human so young had created such advanced technology. "Your device bridges minds in a way we haven't seen before," said a being that looked like a cloud of purple gas. "It has applications beyond translation." "I never thought of it that way," Maya admitted. "I just wanted to connect human thought to computers." "But you have connected minds to minds," the gas being replied. "That is much more valuable." Later, as the Earth team prepared for the smaller committee meetings, Maya took a moment alone. She stood by a window looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there was Earth, so far away now. She thought about the stairwell at Westridge Academy, where Chris had accused her of theft. If that hadn't happened, would any of this? Maya smiled at the strange turns life could take. A moment of fear and anger had led to this, humanity joining a community of beings who had traveled the stars for thousands of years. Her neural interface glowed softly as it picked up the thoughts of beings passing by. Each one unique, each one part of the great web of intelligent life in the galaxy. And Maya was the bridge that helped connect humanity to all of them. The journey that began in a school stairwell had led to the stars, and this was just the beginning.